Another thing with my mum and dad as well. Well, after my sister and me had totally left home, um, my dad got a little bit broody. Bless him. Um, yeah. So, but my mum was having none of it. No more kids. Like, they just spent the last 20 odd years, or more than that, 20 odd 4 years of their life. Like, finally got rid of them. No. So instead of starting another family, which was a big no-no, they decided to foster kids. Yeah. It was emergency kids. Most of them were babies. Most of them were very, very young. Some even just days old. Some of them were days old. And the fostering went on for either days, weeks, months. There was some. I forgot how many babies they actually fostered over the years. It must be easy 40, 50 plus, maybe more. Gotta be. And some of them were in emergency situations as well. Some of them, like, bad situations, or the mother couldn't deal with being a mother, and stuff like that, or too young, or drug problems, or alcohol problems, and stuff like this. And some of them, unfortunately, a little bit more sinister. Very, very, very nasty ones that came in there. Like, some of the backgrounds, of these defenseless kids, and why that they would be put into foster, would turn your stomach. It would literally turn your stomach. I'm not going to go into heavy details. Not at all. It's not. No. I remember once there was this one. There was one particular baby. No, I think very young, about a month old, something like that. And it came to my mum and dad and was in a very bad way. Now, unfortunately, even in those times and situations, the parents technically have a right to see their children. But because the child was in foster homes, i.e. my mum and dad, they had to ask my mum and dad, would it be okay for the parents to come into the house to see the child, because obviously they had the right to do it. I remember sitting there, because I had to be part of it, because I was sort of in and out. And my dad stood there and leaned forward and kindly said, "If that bastard comes within 20 foot of the house, I'll kill him." Heavy words for my dad. He's mostly a pacifist. Yeah, I couldn't believe he just let forward. "That bastard comes within 20 foot of my house, I'll kill him." And the person who was doing the fostering just kind of went, "So, that's a no then." And he was like, "Yeah, never seen them. No, they never were allowed anywhere near the house, literally because of the circumstances to do with the baby." But they did that for many, many a year. And good on them, that they help, and they're still in contact now with some of the mothers and some of the kids they actually helped. They're still in contact with those, and some of those kids have got married now and got kids of their own, and they bring those kids around to show my mum and dad. They've been invited to weddings, and mad, absolutely mad. But yeah, good on them. Right. I wasn't a big kid when I was growing up. Excuse me, just gonna alter myself. There we go. Oh no, I wasn't a big kid when I was growing up. In fact, I was very scrawny. Very scrawny, very thin, and up until the age of about 11, quite short as well. Didn't stop me from taking up certain sports. Rugby being the main one. Hell, you're in Wales, you play rugby, don't you? I'm a lot more involved in rugby now than I ever was as a kid, but don't get me wrong, I loved rugby when I was playing. Apart from playing for the junior school, St Michael's, I also played for the local team, Llantwit Vardra, which was literally, as I said to you before, the street I lived in, cul-de-sac at the end of the road. Cricket, rugby, that was Llantwit Vardra. So I played for them. There wasn't much of a setup then. I think it was just go along in any clothes you could find which resembled rugby clothes and hit people. It was good. It was good. I don't think my mum and dad ever forced me down there to do it. I went down there quite jovially by myself Sunday mornings to train and run around and get wet and play games. It was good. It was a nice easy time to do it. Used to play it for school. That was different. Remember once we went to a festival. I think it was up in Moseley, big rugby area, and I went up there with Vadra, and all different age groups playing. My dad came up. I know my dad came up. And one of the matches, we got all caught to the pitch. Right, on you go. And we walked onto the pitch, and I said I wasn't big, but these guys we were playing were literally down here on us. You know, it was mad because they were just midgets. I think they were about 2 years younger than us, and just stood there giving it like, really, is this happening? Is this right? And they said, "Yep, it's fine. Play on." We annihilated them. We almost killed the poor chaps. Yeah, I remember after training as well, we used to stay behind and kick balls around and try to do drop goals and kicking and stuff like that. Used to hang around a little bit with, never real close friends with him directly, but used to hang around with Neil Jenkins. Look him up, you'll like him. But even back then he was kicking. But sort of, yeah, bizarre. That's my only name dropping I'm going to do, I think. Yeah, my rugby sort of career, if I wanted a career in rugby, sort of came to an end when I was around 16. I came off my motorbike and left my kneecaps 25 yards behind me, down on Glantriston Trading Estate. So that was the end of that rugby. You'll hear more about that crash later on. But yeah, that was the end of the rugby area for me. But there was always rugby. Going, as I said to you before, like going to Pontypridd to watch matches, going occasionally to Cardiff Arms Park to see the big internationals. Wow, that was an awesome thing to do as well. It was cool. One of the presents which my granddad in London gave me was a longbow, 6-foot longbow. He gave me a proper longbow with 2-foot arrows and everything. I don't know, I used it. Me and my dad used to go down the field, and we used to go out the back garden and shoot cans from the shed. And we used to go down the field, and we had this. We had the practice. The practice we had on the field was, right, you run off 50 meters that way, and I'm going to shoot lie down on the floor, starfish, and I'm going to let loose an arrow and see if I can hit you. We used to do that. That's me and my dad. Obviously, we never did hit each other in the field, but the practice of shooting the cans came to a bit of an end in the back garden. We had the cans set up on sticks and logs and boxes down the back garden, and we were shooting the arrows, and my dad was like down the bottom waiting me for finish so he could pick the arrows up and bring them back. And I decided to take a shot, and I loosed the arrow, but I was holding it all wrong, and it just went off to one side. And the arrow it was a lovely straight target, straight into my dad's leg. Yep, I shot my dad in his shin. Don't get me wrong, it didn't burrow into the flesh and like knock him down or anything like that. It didn't do anything like that. It just hit my father's shin with a big impact, promptly bounced off, thankfully. But it was still enough to make my dad fall over and start calling me nasty names. Yeah, that was the end of shooting in the back garden anyway, I can tell you. Yeah, he got over it. He's fine. That's when we started going down the field and started shooting each other on the floor. Why we did that, I don't know. I know once my sister came down with me down to the field. And in between the fields, so there's a banking. So you had one field, a bank, another field, bank, another field. and we went down onto the rugby pitch and we set up targets on the side of the banking. And I was teaching Claire how to archery. I wasn't very good at it myself, but I was teaching her how to do it. So, pang, pang, and sorry, I was just thinking about it because it was quite funny. She let loose the arrow, and as she did, she snapped upwards, and the arrow went sailing over the top of the bank, out of sight, only to be greeted by almost like a shriek of horror. So like me and my sister legged it up the bank, and there was sorry, I'm just thinking of the lady's face even after all this time. It was great. She was walking her little dog thing, I don't know, a rat on a lead, and obviously she'd been walking in the field and quite happily walking now, minding her own business, and this arrow had come sailing over the top of the bank and buried itself about 6 inches in front of the dog. It just almost took the dog out, and she was like, "Ah!" And the dog was like, "What? What's going on? I don't understand." So I took the arrow, apologised, and legged it back to run back to the house, and it was brilliant. I don't think my sister actually shot another arrow again in her life after that. That poor dog was just like, shit. Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool time. Yeah. Anyway, poor dog. Right. So, yeah, we'll see you soon.